You know, ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer, so that my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
All right, Rocket football fans, here we go for another season. 2019 kicks off at Fort Campbell Friday night. And I know, Coach Thompson, you're excited to get this season going. But before we start, a sad day for West Kentucky football recently with the passing of Coach Barnes over at Caldwell County.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we want to just give our blessings and just keep those in mind that we're close to him, his family. This team that they're going to play Friday, you know, just be with our thoughts and prayers, and be with those guys because Coach Barnes was always good to me this past year. He took care of me. He became a kind of a mentor, and I just appreciate everything that he did for me. So I want to be there for those people. So we just need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers.
Certainly a great man with a lasting legacy, and we will keep his family in our hearts and in our prayers. We're going to take a quick break, and I hope you enjoy these commercials this year. We spent a little time in the preseason. While you guys were working out, we were making commercials. We stole some players, so you're going to enjoy these. Some of them are Super Bowl worthy. So we're going to take our first break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home. 5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
You go in the game this week, you go in style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit and Detail for a $15 more.
I love option play.
Was that a 42 speed option?
Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double pretty in.
Come to Marion and sing.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
Hey, Rocket football fans!
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride. All right, Coach, we're back and we're ready to roll for the 2019 season and get going. We want to begin by talking about the offense. We'll kind of handle this as a preview. We got a lot of ground to cover, so just let's talk about the offense first.
You know, we graduated a lot of guys that we have to replace. And the good thing, like I've always said, is this is a new team. We can't put that team together again, so there'll be new guys that fill in and fill those roles. You know, I want to start up front. That's where our most experience comes back offensively. And that's Riley Gobin, Jagger Hayes, Ian Ellington, guys with experience, and Dylan Yates with experience up front. So when you think about experience offensively, that's where it's at. But we have some young guys in there competing and helping bring depth to our line, and Ben Evans, Tucker Sharp, and Holden Cooksey. So we want to play 7 to 8 guys up front, or be able to play 7 to 8 guys, and I think that they're competing now at a level where they might be able to do that, and it might end up being our strength, you know, where our experience is at, which is a good thing for us. You know, typically it's not our strength.
I'd like to single a couple of guys out. Riley Gobin, a senior, and he is playing like a senior, what I've seen in preseason. And Ian Ellington is playing like a senior, but he's a junior. Sure. And he's really still coming back from that injury, but looks good.
Yeah, I tell him every day, he looks better than he's ever looked. He's full speed. He can do everything he did before. He's not always as confident in himself as he has been, but you know, when you're coming back from an injury, you don't know. So right. Until you see, you don't know what it can or can't do. And he's doing a good job every day, and he'll be big for us. He's kind of our motor, you know.
And Riley Gobin, playing well.
Riley Gobin, you know, when he decides he's going to play, he's a handful. And him being a senior now, we need him to do that every snap that he's on the field. And be a leader for us just through play. He doesn't have to say anything. Just, you know, go play hard and be destructive like he can be, and he'll be a leader for us.
And I have noticed him being more vocal.
Yeah, he is
That's
getting
good.
vocal, you know, and the harder he works, the more the kids listen to him when he speaks. So,
all right, let's jump off the line now and let's get into the backfield. You got a new quarterback.
A couple new quarterbacks. Hunter Jones, you know, we decided to go with Hunter as the quarterback. the every down quarterback, but we'll also use Braxton. He's a guy that
Braxton Winders.
Braxton Winders, yeah. Well, you'll see him back there take snaps as well. But Hunter Jones would be the guy that leads the offense. He's a senior for us, and he's a guy. He's level-headed. He's been on the field he started since he was a sophomore defensively. He's a guy that we know that you can go out and depend on him on a Friday night and make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. He just provides a skill set that where we can run him, or we can get the ball out of his hands to all these athletes that he has to get the ball to. And Braxton's just like a Tebow-like guy. You can give him the ball.
Now that's Tebow, right? That's big. That's big shoes.
Yeah, and he runs the ball well. You see it in the scrimmages. We snap it back there to him, and he can go get us 2-3 yards every time, just himself. So it's a nice change of pace to put back there and be able to change your offense a little bit.
Tebow's a baseball player now, though.
Yeah, yes, I do.
Bring that up. You enjoy talking about baseball all the time.
Only with you.
Your running backs.
Running backs, you'll see Xander Tabor filling
Iron
that
Man.
role in Nesby. Yeah, he won the Ironman this year. He's a guy that really committed this offseason to changing his body and being in the best shape he possibly could at this time of the year. And he's a guy that I think will surprise a lot of people. When we walk on the field, he is a guy that stands out. Coaches are like, who's that kid? So hopefully that he can not only pass the look test, but also be able to go out and make the plays that he needs to make for us to be successful. And then you'll also see Caden McAllister take handoffs. You'll see T-Bone, Tyler Boone. He'll take some handoffs, and then also freshman Preston Morrison to step in there and take some handoffs from the
Let me interrupt you real quick. We'll get this trivia question in because it involves Preston Morganson, as you mentioned, a freshman. So your trivia question of the week, sponsored by H&H Home and Hardware, and the winner gets a free round of golf down at Deer Lakes Golf Course. The question is, when Preston Morganson steps on the field this year as a varsity player, what will he do that no other Rocket in history has done? If you know the answer, go down to H&H Home and Hardware. They have a new store out on the north end of town. Go down there, tell those fine folks what the answer to the trivia question is this week, and we'll make sure you get a free round of golf down at Deer Lakes Golf Course. All right, back to the lineup, Coach.
No, Preston's a guy that just has a skill set that he's a freshman, but you still have to play him. He's got to be on the field because he can make every play. He's a guy that can be a home run for us. So he's shown that he's ready to play, and at times you'll see him in spots.
I think he will be a household name pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, for
very
years,
talented,
very many years to come. And also when you're talking running backs, you can't forget that you still have Braxton and Hunter Jones that both can run well. So you'll see them run as well, whereas in the past you haven't necessarily seen our quarterback run as much.
Mm-hmm. Receiving core.
Yeah, headed up by Preston Turley. I mean, when you have a 6'6" receiver, it's a matchup nightmare for anyone. I get to talk to these other coaches when I see him, and that's the first thing they ask: who is that? Who is that? What is that guy? Where's he come from? The same guy we've had.
Of course, he missed part of the season last year, especially late.
Yeah,
after the Caldwell game.
He's another one that passes the look test. He's gotten stronger, he's bigger, and he's a lot more comfortable than he was at this time last year.
And healed up from that broken leg.
Yeah, definitely healed up, and he's out there making plays. He was effective for us in the scrimmage, with 2 touchdowns,
right.
And I guess you can say 1 touchdown. They took one from him, but it was a touchdown. Either way, he's just a guy that's making plays for us, and he's just more comfortable out there, and that's good for him because he's a good-looking kid, passed the look test, and it's good for us because he's gonna make a lot of plays for us. Another guy you'll see out wide is, of course, Caden and T-Bone.
McAllister's caught a lot of passes in the preseason.
Yeah, Caden's a guy that's going to do everything. You'll see him line up fullback. The way our offense is built, the position he plays, he moves a lot. He plays that same position that Dossett played, so he's a guy that's going to move around a lot. And same with T-Bone. Preston will line up in the slot, and we'll use him as a receiver.
Preston
Morganson, yes.
We have to keep
Prestons, yeah. And then I also got Bryson Baker's a kid that came back who who played before and took a year off for whatever reason. He's back out there, and he's a guy that when he played in middle school was a down the field threat, and he still is. He's a guy that get comfortable and back into it. He'll probably start on the other side of Preston Turley, so it'll be those two guys outside.
Two
so
big long bodies right there.
6'6" and
6'4",
6'3", somewhere in there.
6'2", I believe.
And he runs well. And then you got guys like Travis Guess, Trace Darrington, Logan Bailey that all play receiver as well.
Yeah.
So.
While we've got an opportunity, let's talk about punt returns and kick returns, those skill type guys.
Okay. You'll see Caden McAllister on punt in, kick return, and Alexander Tabor on kick off return, and then Preston Morrison on punt return. And then there's some other guys that fill in when those guys need a blow, but those will be the main three that you see returning.
A guy that a lot of people ask me about is Eli Moss, because he's the fastest on we ran something in the paper on the Ironman results, and in that competition, he's the fastest guy that you've got. Yeah. And it's his first year to play football, and he's still learning the game, but he could be an impact
for
player.
Sure. He's a guy that is extremely fast. You know, when you look at how fast Devin was for us, Eli's faster.
Yeah.
But until he's comfortable with the sport, we won't see that speed. So we want to make sure he's 100% comfortable and just take our time with him because we have him for another year, you know, and get him comfortable and growing every day, getting better every day. And one baby step. You know, he had the setback with the broken wrist, so we just want to make sure that he's ready, and when he opens it up, people will see how fast he really is.
And we're going to see, as far as punting, rugby punts again mostly.
Yeah, you know, we like to do our rugby, and Noah Perkins has shown that he can punt the ball a regular punt. So we have both.
And Braxton's
Braxton would be our rugby punter for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back and talk about the defense, which is going to be pretty special this year.
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us! We'll see you Friday night at the football game.
Full Body Fitness, training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
Cash back, please.
25 cents. I need to cash this, please. 25 cents.
Cash back, please.
25 cents.
Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
All right, we're back, and we're going to talk about the defense. And I can't help but talk about the linebacking crew first, because that's a pretty good set of linebackers.
For sure. You know, we return all our leading tacklers from a year ago at that position. You know, we have Tyler Boone back healthy. He'll hold the middle down. Braxton's going to bump over and fill that role that Gavin was in last year, Gavin Dickerson, and be our strong side linebacker.
And he was the top tackler last year on the team.
You know, he's Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
You know, he's always making plays. He does what he's supposed to do, and he gets a lot of opportunities for tackles, and he makes them. So he'll go to that strong side, and we'll see him getting after quarterbacks a lot. Then you got Caden, I feel that Willie role. You know, when Tebow went down last year and Caden healed and he came back, he went to Mike and ended up being really good at Mike for an undersized guy. So he's a guy that gets in the trenches and he battles. And then another guy that you're going to see that join that group is Ian. You know, Ian looks as good as any of them right now at the linebacker position. Just his mentality, he's so tough, you know, so he fits in with those guys. Because, I mean, that's the heart of our team. Our linebacking core is going to set the tone in every game that we go into. And, you know, we have some other guys that will play that position, but those are the main guys you'll see there.
Talk about your hybrid guys, your guys who,
Yeah, I was going to, they're linebackers, but, you know, you got
quarterbacks too.
Justin Phillips and Maddox Carlson are stepping in and playing that invert role, which would be our strong safety / linebacker / just do it all guys on the edge. It's the position you see Hunter Jones play a lot, and with him playing more quarterback, we won't see him in that position as much. He's still going to start on defense. He's going to play on defense and still play that position. But with the growth and maturity that Maddox has shown and Phillips showing that he can play that position as well, we don't have to have him on the field all the time. So our depth at the linebacker position is just growing, and that's good for us to keep those guys fresh. So
watching Maddox, of course, he has taken a growth spurt,
yeah.
and he's long too, like some of those other guys, and picked up speed. And as you say, I've noticed him a lot of times going in for Jonesy there and giving Jones, because I know you don't want your quarterback out there all the time if you can help it.
Yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that we protect him and make sure that he's always fresh so he can make the right decisions offensively. So if we can get away with not having to play him as much on defense, we're going to do that. But he's still definitely going to play defense.
Okay. The rest of the secondary back there?
We return Xander. That's the only experience we return in our secondary. So, we feel pretty good about one side of the field all the time, just knowing that he's proven. And then on the other side, it's where you're going to see Preston Morganson step in, and he'll probably start for us this year as a freshman on defense. And, we understand he's a freshman. There's growing pains there with that, but what I do know is that he competes and he can make every play. So he's a guy that has stepped in there and filled that role opposite Xander. And then Noah Perkins will probably go in and be our starting free safety when we start the season. He's a guy that is always in the right place and has proven that he's willing to come down and make tackles like we need our free safety to do. We haven't always had that, a guy that'll come down and make tackles, and he's a guy that has proven that he can do that, so he's got to make sure he does it.
Physically not a big guy, but is smart.
Yeah, he's very smart
and a good tackler.
And understands how he has to tackle differently than maybe our linebackers have to tackle.
He's low, isn't he?
Yes, for sure. So as long as he's doing that, we're successful. And then some other guys, Logan Bailey, I keep wanting to say Colt because that's my guy.
Yeah, little brother Colt.
Yeah, Logan Bailey.
Good athlete.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going to step in. You'll see him play corner as well as free safety. Bryson Baker, a step back there at free safety. He covers a lot of ground. If you watched any of our 7-on-7s this year, I think he had 6 or 7 picks in our 7-on-7s, and he only played in 2 of them.
Yeah.
So, he's a guy that can cover a lot of ground. And then Travis Guess, he's our senior. And the secondary is a guy that last year proves he can play and make plays and not give up big plays, and we'll need him to do that. We'll need him to be one of the leaders of the secondary. So
another guy that's pretty athletic and quick back there.
Yeah.
I know the secondary in the preseason games and in the 7-on-7. I know it's not where you want it to be.
No, for sure.
But we're going to have some opportunity here in the early season for those guys who are inexperienced to really come together as a unit there.
Definitely. When you look at us going in this first game, we'll be tested, and they're going to go after our secondary because after the scrimmages, we've shown that of our defense, that's the weakness right now. And it's not because they can't make the plays; it's because that we're inexperienced there. So as time goes, they're only going to get better. And like I said, every one of them shown they can make the plays. They just got to make sure they're always in position, follow their keys, and trust what they're taught to do.
You can fix not being in the right spot.
Oh, for sure. It's when they don't go full speed, when they stop, when they don't give the effort. That's when you question who can fix it.
And those guys are athletic back there.
They're athletic.
Give them a little time
and
be patient.
Great. They want to do what's right. So that you can fix as a coach.
Yeah. All right, let's get up front. Not much of a front, just 3 guys.
3 guys, and that's led by Lathan Easley. He's a guy that's just an absolute dog. He's an animal. He's an extension of our linebacking core. That's where, with our linebacking core being so deep, we tried him at nose guard and he fit. You know what I'm saying? His skill set just fits. He's an animal, and if he's healthy and can play this year, he'll be that guy at nose, and he'll wreak havoc in backfields. And then on each side of him, you got Preston Turley returning, and a guy with length that can make a lot of plays and
prototypical end.
Defensive, yeah, he looks like a big time defensive end, and with his length and strength, he can really disrupt an offense. Another guy that's built like him is a guy we just had move in, named Noah McGowan. He's from Fredonia. Coming to us from Caldwell, and he's a guy that has that same length and ability to create leverage with his body to allow him to disrupt offenses. And you know, he has a broken finger right now, and hopefully he gets cleared to play soon. But those two opposite each other could be scary because they're linked.
Yeah.
And then also, so if Lathan is not available and Noah's not available, you got Riley Gobin, who we talked about offensively, who is extremely disruptive. When he's got his mindset on right and he's decided I'm going to make a play, he's going to make the play. And he proves time and time again that he can do that for us. And then, you know, Tucker Sharp, Holden Cooksey, Sammy Impostado, Deacon Holloman, both show all those guys can play on our defensive line, and we don't miss a beat. So we got a lot of guys up front, and we want to be able to play a lot of guys because we feel like the more people we can play, the fresher we are in the fourth quarter, and that's when we want to win games. So.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, good synopsis of the defense there, and we're looking forward to watching this team hold opposing teams to very little this year.
Yes, sir.
That's a key, right?
Yeah, that's one of our keys to victory every week.
We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors, and then we're going to talk about Fort Campbell.
T-Bone, good luck this week. Thank you.
Good luck this week, Hayden.
Boys, we gotta know what the game plan is this week.
We're banking on you.
Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket Golfers.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown, Rockets!
Here at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
All right, now we're going to talk about this week's opponent, Fort Campbell, the Falcons. We're going to go down to the military base and play on the base. So if you're going to this football game, kickoff at 7 p.m., if you're going to the base, get there early. That's going to be the key for our fans. It's a long time getting through the security.
For sure. You want to make sure that you have your ID, your proof of insurance, and your
vehicle registration
to get through the gate. And just, I mean, it's a process because they have to check every vehicle. So we just want to make sure we're there early because part of us being successful is Rocket Nation being there behind us.
Absolutely.
You know.
Go down and eat if you want to, or eat here and drive down. But I'm going to say over an hour you need to plan because it's going to be a long line. You may not get up to the window time. Then it takes a little time. So get on the road early this week, Rocket Nation. We're going to need you down there. Fort Campbell, 1-9 last year, Coach. They feel like they're better.
Yeah.
They're on a 5-game losing streak, and they think they can play with us.
Yeah, and you know that rightfully so. You know they have a great quarterback and a receiver that they can throw the ball to, and they play really hard on defense. And it's like everyone else in the state saying they lost everybody. You can read every preview of Crittenden County. We lost everybody. So every time we step on the field, people are going to feel like they have a chance to beat what is now respected and thought of as a good team that just lost everybody. You know what I'm saying? So they should come out feeling like they should play with us. And it's our job to change their mind really quick. And we can do that as long as we come out and play the way we know how and make the plays we're supposed to. But
and we are ranked 8th in the preseason polls. That's the highest. We're ranked 8th and 9th on the polls that I've seen. And Fort Campbell's unranked. They were in 3A last year. They're down to 2A this year. So they're unranked. But we have gotten some respect being ranked 8th.
And you know, we earned it. But you know, people want to say the reason we're so low is because we lost all those seniors. But
Campbellsville's 2.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. Everybody loses seniors every year. That's all I'm saying. But it is what it is. We're going to play on Friday.
Tell us what we can expect to see out of Fort Campbell offensively. You said the quarterback's good and they have a good receiver. What kind of offense are we going to see them run?
You know, they're going to spread it. They're going to do some RPO type stuff, which run pass option. Try to make our guys be disciplined, kind of like what you've seen us do in the past where there might be the linebackers that are aggressive, so we'll stick the ball in the stomach and try to throw it when they come up. They'll do some stuff like that. I think they'll try to attack us vertically on one side of the field because when they look at our film, that's what I would do because we've shown that we've given up the big play. They run a zone system, so as far as run game goes, it's kind of like an NFL type run scheme, and we run it as well. So I think that they'll look very similar to us, but they have a really good quarterback that can really get the ball, spread the ball around as the guys get open.
I think you'll see on the one clip we're showing here is he really scrambled, comes out of the pocket. Of course, let's mention he had on a red shirt, a red jersey, which means don't hit him, so that can mean a lot.
Yeah.
But he did have a long run there against Webster County.
Yeah, he's a guy that if he gets out of the pocket, he can be dangerous. We want to make sure we keep him in the pocket and not let him run around, really because of his throwing ability. He can run and make plays, but his ability to throw even on the run is pretty good. So we want to make sure we don't give him that time to let receivers get open, because it's a long time to cover when you're letting the quarterback run around.
All right, Coach, let's talk about defense for Fort Campbell. What are they going to run against us?
All right, they run a 4-2-5. They're really aggressive defensive ends and experienced linebackers. They run a cover 3 and cover 1 at times. They change up their coverages just like any defense does, but it's a defense we've seen before. It's kind of similar to what Callaway did to us in the scrimmage. But they got some guys that fly around, really aggressive linebackers, really aggressive free safety that likes to come downhill and make plays. The kind of guy that you want back there.
A lot of the teams we played preseason just kind of manned up with us, played us cover 0, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And I would come in against Crittenden County and work on that stuff as well. Especially in the past, we've thrown the ball a lot, so it's just an opportunity to come in and work on that that stuff, so you have that in your toolbox. But it's something that we've shown in the past that we can attack a team that likes to play man, and usually have been successful. So,
talk a little bit about Fort Campbell in the preseason. They beat Webster County 20-7. Webster County beat Fort Campbell 20-7, and then Fort Campbell won last week in their final scrimmage against Clinton County. Kicked a field goal late and won it 10-7, I believe, or 10-6. They won it. And Clinton County, it's hard to know what they have. They were a non-playoff school last year, but they were 9-1. But I think they lost their quarterback, who was a real good player.
Yeah, you turn the film on, and Webster's much improved, and Clinton County played hard, and Fort Campbell plays hard, and that's the thing, that the kids play hard. They're obviously bought into their system, and they're going to come out and play hard. So with teams like that, you have to set the tone early, and they're going to come out and with beating us on their mind and think that that they really can beat us. So we have to make sure that we attack and hit them first before they hit us to ensure ourselves an opportunity to win the game.
Well, I wanted to get into this new playoff system, but we're running out of time. So we will talk about that on a future show, and it's going to be interesting for those of you who haven't heard. That's a new playoff system, and we will talk about that more. We appreciate you watching, and don't forget, leave early. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Rocket football starts this Friday night. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.